This is County Executive Warren Evans, and this is Inside Wayne County.
Hello and welcome to Inside Wayne County. I'm your host, Lloyd Jackson, and with this show, we want to give you important information and also keep you informed about what's going on inside Wayne County. As we approach Father's Day, I want to tell you about an event that is coming up called A Good Father is a Great Man Day. It's an event created by a group called Young Fathers Standing United in conjunction with Wayne County Executive Warren Evans. My guest today is the founder and CEO of Young Fathers Standing United, Mr. Quanah B. Fish. And Quanah, it's a pleasure to have you here on Inside Wayne County.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get into the event, I want to know more about your organization. Tell me about the organization.
Okay, so I started the organization, I founded it in 2010 after a stint working in a juvenile detention center where I was able to impact so many young men passing in and out the system. Mm-hmm. But it lit a fire inside of me. Although I was fatherless myself, it still never resonated with me. This pretty much was an epidemic until I got into that environment. And that was the one thing that I had in common with all of those young men. And it spawned me to launch my own program.
And you said you were fatherless yourself.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how that was for you growing up.
Well, it was very challenging. But I guess I guess what made it easier, I never met my father. So it's like I convinced myself that, hey, you can't miss what you never had. And so I think if he had been there and left, it probably been worse. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I became, outside of missing, I guess, the financial side that he possibly could have brought, but it wasn't until I got older and became a man myself when I really realized it was a hole missing. Do you find that other young boys or girls have that same issue where they never met their father before, and father was never around? Well, yeah, in a lot of different instances, it varies. A lot of fathers are locked up, incarcerated, passed away, but it definitely leaves a hole in these young men and young women. It affects our whole community, and that's one thing that I found out looking into the statistics of things. It seems to be the root cause of a lot of different issues. Mm-hmm. So I know it's a lot of programs dealing with a lot of various issues that our youth have, but the fatherhood seems to be the root. And it's just like a dandelion. You got to pull up the root in order to.
That's right.
That's right.
So the Young Fathers Standing United, I know one of the acumens of the program is to develop at-risk fathers under 25 and under.
Yes. Why
did you pick that specific age group?
Well, I guess, coming from that background, working in a juvenile detention center, I seen where these guys just really didn't have a concept of how to be a man or just their identity or purpose in general. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to try to reach those guys. I feel like they were still, salvageable. Yeah. A lot of older men, they are stuck in their ways, and they don't really, soul search enough, mm-hmm. where these young men are still more influenceable. So I was able to give them my blueprint, and let them know the things I've been through, and they were able to, grab a hold of that, and I felt like I had something special going, and I wanted to continue.
We love our mothers, and we know we couldn't be here without them. They brought us into the world, but father had to be around there somewhere.
That's right.
When that happened, How important, talk to me about how important it is for a young boy and a young girl.
Yes.
To have that father figure in their lives and what that can do to them if they don't have it and if they do.
Well, it's definitely detrimental, I guess, to their future, and just understanding the element. I think if I can just get into sure. Our society just kind of minimize the role of fathers to the point where mothers really think that they can raise these children. I mean, some of them are forced to do that, mm-hmm. But if they don't understand the dynamics that a father bring, they can't compensate for some of the things that the father had brought, you know.
Yes.
And so our young men and our daughters, and we lose out. It's the discipline is not there. Man, so many unique elements that fathers bring, from just tossing the baby up and rough and tumbling. I done found so many statistics in regards to how that affect children. So with that being said, man, these fathers or these mothers have to really realize that these fathers are important, and they need to know what they bring, and that way they can be that spare tire, if you will, in the life of their children.
You know, and when we talk about fathers and young men, but when you talk about fathers and girls, I mean, I've always been told the father is the first male that girl falls in love with.
That's right.
So having a father in the home or a father figure, you know, teaches girls something as well. We know
Definitely.
Mom and the girls get together,
That's
but
right.
you know, as far as, you know, having men open doors for
That's
you
right.
and walking on the right side of the street and those kind of things,
That's
and how
right.
you should be treated.
That's right. And it definitely affects them in their relationships and how they look at men. You know, I noticed, you know, a lot of families out there, they're raising their daughters to be independent, to you don't need a man, go get your degree. And so unfortunately, I'm not going to say unfortunately, but a lot of women are doing better than the men at this point. You know, I think we were, you know, planning to go work at Ford, and, you know, that generational thing. And,
Yeah.
And actually, you know, the essence of a man is the heart. You know, you work hard, and you know what I mean, and you feel like a man. But at the end of the day, without your education, as we see right now in our city, that you in trouble.
What do you see as the real issues for fathers not being in the home?
Well, wow, that's you know, like I said, society has a lot to do with that. You know, they like the mass incarceration, the crime against each other. We killing each other day in and day out. But more importantly, I think fathers really don't understand their value. So it's easier for them to leave. Like, you know, the system have things set up where mothers can survive without the father. And the father used that as a scapegoat. Oh, she'll be all right. She get on social service, and I'm gonna go over here and try to get myself together, or whatever the case may be, not understanding that, you know, that their children are suffering for their presence not being, you know, wow. So it's something really dear to my heart, and I just hope men understand, like, their value, and I think that's what it is. They just lost their value.
And that father figure, once again, in the home, you know, a lot of times when you say the father is not there, whether the father is incarcerated or just didn't come around, so now you have a young man in a home with a mom or sister, or maybe a younger brother, and that young man can't really be a kid.
Right.
They have to grow up.
That's
they
right.
have to be a man.
That's right.
You know, quicker than they were expected to be. So now I got to try to take care of my home, take care of my family.
Yes.
By any means necessary. And it's that by any means necessary, that's the scary part.
That it definitely is. I mean, it's already a lack of resources, you know, for adults. So when you start talking about young people, and how many that's jobless, and they actually can't even fill out an application. You know, I mean, can't read. So it almost put them in a real tough situation where they have to do what they have to do. At least they feel like that.
They feel like that, yeah.
Right, and so that's where, you know, programs and other people that's in the community, there's so many people out here that's on the ground doing a lot of different things that don't get the notoriety or the media attention. But I know some powerful people that love these kids, and their budget is basically love and hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about the goals of your organization, Young Fathers Standing United. What are the goals?
Well, the goal is to bring awareness to the community about the importance of fathers, as well as bringing young men in to get developed, you know, to get the education that they need, as well as connecting with older fathers. Like, I think we got a lot of older fathers that are being overlooked as resources.
Absolutely.
You know, our young people, they look at what you have, what you got right now. If you ain't riding good, if you ain't, they won't give you an ear.
Right.
So I created something called the Network of Fatherhood, Detroit Network of Fatherhood, that can create that platform where I can bring the young dads in and the older dads, and we can
That's
get into
great.
these conversations about fatherhood. Because what I discovered is no one person has all the answers, but all together, collectively, we all have different pieces of the puzzle that we can bring together.
And if you come from a family where there was no father, and now you have a child, you really haven't been taught the parenting skills.
That's
so
right.
Talking to a person who's been a father, who's older,
That's right.
you could get
Exactly.
some ideas.
Because when you think about how children learn, it's really by imitation. So that's why the presence is so important. You know, even if you're not the best fathers, your presence will make a difference. And so we need some people that's emulatable. You know what I mean? So our young people just following the wrong personalities and the wrong people. And so we need to create that or give them something else to follow, to be a part of.
Now I know there are different issues you guys cover in your organization. One of them is parental rights, and a lot of fathers don't know their parental rights.
That's right.
You guys help them with that.
Yes, sir. And I guess the first step to that would be take a blood test.
Okay, yeah.
To but you have to establish your paternity to even have any rights the way the system is set up. And so and if you don't have any rights. It's sad, and in most cases, if a mother don't go down there to friend of court, you might just be out of luck. You know what I mean? Because I really think that need to change. Like, I think.
Is the friend of the court not really our friend? I don't know. You know, I hear that, but is the friend of the court not really the man's friend?
Wow. No. You know what? I'm gonna just say this: a lot of the laws are outdated. I think they created this thing like the 1900s, and it's just out of date. You know, it's so many complex issues. You got, mothers raising. So it's so much to deal with, but more or less, it's definitely eating up our men. It's throwing them in the belly of the beast. They're giving them felonies now, and they lumping them all together. That's the big problem. You have dead broke dads, you got dead beat dads, and then you just got dads that just don't know how to,
Yeah.
And so, but they clustering them all up, and they giving them felonies. So how you gonna get a job if you got a felony? You know what I mean? Like, how you gonna have transportation? It's a bad do. It's a bad.
What about relationships? Young fathers and the relationships with their mothers, because a lot of times the relationship falters, but you
Yes.
still have a child.
Yes.
And then a lot of times the parent, the mom may say, "Well, listen, me and you not together, so you don't need to see the child." That needs to change too, because just because the mom and the dad are not together,
That's right.
doesn't mean that the child should be divorced or taken
right.
away from the dad.
And it's sad to put a child in that situation and have to choose. But I think it goes right back to the lack of understanding of the importance of that father. I believe if the mothers knew that, the future of their children is attached to that man. You know what I mean? His identity. It's so much that I just think our people just lost sight of. Our culture, like you said, it faltered.
It needs to change. We need to change a culture.
Yes.
A lot of things. The Young Father Standing United, they have a lot of different programs and events that happen.
Yes.
Throughout the year, and one of them is the Breakfast of Champions. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the Breakfast of Champions, I started about 6 years ago, and that was more or less to bring that platform together with the older and the young generation of people. And so within those breakfasts, we have different subject matters each year. I think the last one we did was talking to young people about the importance of being a family and possibly getting married one day.
Oh, wow.
Because, families make up communities.
Absolutely.
So that's why our communities are weak, is no families, and I think a lot of young people don't see, great relationships going on, or marriages really working. And so they grow up and they're not thinking about getting married, period. And I think that's necessary to try, to build that, that whole family piece and that whole morality thing together, man. So Definitely.
And then you also have a program where you guys talk about child support and the legal side of that as well.
Yes, sir. So we have a partnership actually with Wayne County Third Circuit Court. So we actually set up and promote the event they have down at the main library to help with the child support piece. They bring in free attorneys and so on and so forth. And then we also on our board have somebody that actually used to work down there, so they help with motions and any
great.
issues like that. Yeah.
Fatherhood workshops, you have that as well?
Yes, we have what's called the, well, first of all, I do presentations for Goodwill Industries Flip the Script program.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm a service contractor for them. I come in and I do presentations for their dads. Secondly, we have what's called the Fathers Focusing on Fathering workshop, which we actually redeveloped with the help of Professor Shawnee Lee from the University of Michigan School of Social Work. So we actually get ready to launch the new curriculum this summer, and I'm really excited about it.
Is this something that can be launched throughout communities in Wayne County?
Yeah, so what it is, my Fathers Focusing on Fathering program, that's strictly for young dads under 25.
Okay.
And that's a 12-session curriculum, touching on the characteristics, family origin, even caring for your child, feeding, burping. And my whole goal with that is to get young men more, give them more confidence while they're caring for their children. I think a lot
That's very important.
It's very important because a lot of men are intimidated by little babies. I'm gonna hurt them. I'll get back to them when they grow up and all of that.
Right.
But that bonding piece is important for the dad to bond and the baby to bond. And so it won't be so easy to lead a baby. And I believe that's kind of a problem. They don't build that bond with the baby, as he's, in his infancy stages.
Let's talk about the Father's Day event on the 19th out at Hines Park.
Oh, man.
Tell us about that.
That's my favorite event. So like I told you, I want to promote fatherhood in the community, and that's kind of how that spawned. And I wanted to highlight great fathers from Wayne County. And so we just kind of put that together, man, and it's been a long journey, but the event is growing and growing and growing. And
a good father is a great man.
Yes. I love that
That's a love title.
I love that name.
That's a nice title right there.
So we normally have about 200, Wayne County residents, and that's just with us. So now we got the CEO on board with us.
And how did that happen?
Well, you know what? A good friend of mine, Marlo Sean Franklin, he actually was a recipient of the award, the Good Father's a Great Man Award, and of course he was working, I guess, in the political arena. The CEO was running for office. And so, of course, we took advantage of that situation.
Absolutely, I understand.
And he really enjoyed himself. We also had Benny Napoleon one year, and he enjoyed himself. He actually sponsored us one year. So, like I said, it's something that's growing and highly anticipated.
Can anybody come out? Can any father come out?
Yes, sir. It's a free event. We're going to have resources there as far as parenting, child support information. Like the highlight is the awards. We got like 7 dads who's going to be receiving the Good Father's a Great Man Award.
Okay.
And so we kind of extended. I knew I was coming on the show. So the audience can actually go on our website and they still have an opportunity to nominate a good father from their community to win this award.
And what's that website?
And that's www.youngfathersstanding.org.
And if they need any more information, they can get it from that website. Is there a number too?
Yes, there's a number on there, but just go to our nomination link and click on that and do maybe a little paragraph about why you think that father deserves that award, and hopefully you can win. But my whole thing is to inspire other fathers as well. You know, recognize the father, but inspire fathers who are not doing that good. You know, and like I said, we have guest speakers, free food, DJ. It's just a great day, great family day.
Well, I'm looking forward to it myself. because I'm a father and I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Juan Fish, thank you so much, man, for coming on Inside Wayne County. Appreciate it. And I appreciate all that you do for the fathers in Wayne County.
Bless you.
Stay tuned for upcoming shows as I take you inside Wayne County. It's all with the goal of keeping you up to date with everything from finances, services, and initiatives going on inside Wayne County. I'm Lloyd Jackson. See you next time.